Hello everyone, so in this video we will be focusing on valuing the child, modeling life skills and also positive conflict management skills. So when it comes to valuing the child, every person, no matter what age we are, we want to know that we are valued and that we matter and that we are important to the people around us. And the same goes for children. Children want to know that they are important and that people value them, because if we know that we are being valued and that we are important, it builds our self-esteem. In other words, we feel better about ourselves, we feel more confident because we know that we are important. And this is especially important for children, as building their self-esteem will help them be physically as well as emotionally more safe. So if we think about bullying behavior or possible abuse, if children know that they are important, and that they feel good about themselves, they are not going to allow people to treat them badly, and they will be able to stand up for themselves or report when things are done to them that they're not happy with. So that's really, really important for us to make sure that we pay attention to the children and that we make sure that we let them know that they are important, that they are valued. So it is oftentimes very difficult for us to respond positively to children. That's really a challenge for us. We know that those children that's really negative the whole time and that they are behaving badly, it's often difficult to respond in a positive way, but we also need to make sure that we respond positively to them. And in your module you will find some guidelines on how to respond positively to negative children. So building self-esteem is extremely important. So the next thing that I want to highlight is modeling life skills. So people often underestimate the value or the importance or the power that our behavior have on the people around us, and especially with children. Children depend on the people in their environments to guide their behavior and to tell them what is accepted and what is not. So we all know that the children copy behavior from the people around them. So life skills is those important skills that a person needs to be able to function in life. So just cooking and cleaning, reading and writing skills. We also need to learn how to look after ourselves and our personal care and hygiene. So communication skills, working with other people, conflict management, expressing our feelings, and making decisions and solving problems is important life skills that we need to develop as we grow older. So remember, the children need to be taught these things as well, and this is important to know because they pick up on the adults' behavior in their environment to learn these skills. So we need to make sure that we are trying our best to model the appropriate behavior. And we often say in class that children is like little sponges, that they absorb everything that's going on around in their environment. So this includes what we say, how we say things, how we behave, how we deal with certain situations. Children are always listening and always paying attention and absorbing that information. So I want to look at modeling. So modeling is not like the beauty pageants where you dress up and you walk on the ramp. This is modeling, in other words, copying of behavior. So there's certain reasons why children copy behavior. So the first thing is that they see the behavior as rewarding. In other words, they will get something from behaving that way. In other words, either praise or reward or something like that. So they also copy behavior because they think that behaving in a certain way will get them a reward, so they're motivated to do that. And also the child copies behavior because they feel like they want to be like the person that they are looking up to. So those are the motivations for modeling. And there's also 3 steps in which children's brain work in terms of copying behavior. So first of all, the child sees the person as important and valuable. So they will look at your behavior. Let's say the ECD practitioner, they think you are amazing, and they pay attention to your behavior. They will then, the second step is they will store this information in their brain. In other words, they will form images or memory about what they have just seen or heard or experienced. And then the last step, the third step, is when children are faced with similar situations, they are going to go back and remember, what is it that I saw? What is it that I heard? And they will then use that behavior, that they saw from another person. So just go and read through all of that in your notes again, and let me know if you need more explanations. The last part is positive conflict management skills. So conflict is going to be part of our lives forever, okay? Because we are all unique. We don't think the same. We don't do things the same. We don't feel the same about certain things. So conflict happens when people don't agree on something, or when somebody is doing things differently than what you are doing. So that's where fights begin, that's where conflict begin, where disagreements begin. So it is extremely important for children to learn how to deal with conflict from a very young age, because it is such a difficult process. It is best for children to learn this from very young. So there's two important things that really matters when it comes to conflict management, is that feelings are important. Feelings matter. Children need to know that their feelings are validated. In other words, how they are feeling is absolutely acceptable, but what they do with those feelings is what makes it unacceptable. So a person can be angry, but they can't hit another person just because they're angry. So the fact that they're feeling angry is absolutely normal, and it is what they are feeling, but how they express that feeling is something that we need to work with. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, there's certain steps that you need to follow in terms of resolving conflict, and these are the important steps that you as an ECD practitioner need to start implementing at your centers. So this is important to know, because these steps helps you as a practitioner not to force something onto a child. For example, what happens usually is that when something happens and a child is upset, we say apologize, and then we think the problem is solved, and it's not the case. Children need to understand and to learn how to solve this problem, and we need to follow these steps in order to help them to solve this problem themselves, instead of us giving them the answers. So remember, critical thinking, this is something that we do to help them think critically. So the 5 steps of conflict management is, first of all, you ask the children what happened, and you need to listen to both sides of the story. So all the children that's involved in the conflict will then tell you what had happened. Okay, the second step is you are defining the goal. So you are asking them, so what is the problem here? They need to tell you, oh, so both of them wanted to play with the blocks. So you need to help them think about what is the actual problem that is happening. Okay, the third step is, then after you know what the problem was, the children must come up with possible solutions. We don't give them the solutions. Okay, we will only get them to brainstorm these themselves, because if the solutions are coming from the children, they are more open to implementing this. So think about solutions. The children must share that with you. Then you help them and you say, let's evaluate these different solutions. Let's look at what will happen if we do something that you suggested. And that's where you will help the children think about the consequences. The last step is, the children needs to decide, based on the ideas that they've given, what will be the best solution for this problem. And if we reach this step and the problem hasn't been solved, you start from the beginning, because the important part is that we let the children think about the consequences and the solutions, and not us as the practitioners. So this is going to take some time and take some practice, and it's new for you and for the children, but this is how we should ultimately solve any problems or conflict. So remember, this is an important life skill, and that children need to learn how to deal with conflict in the future.